Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel Camzine. In this video, we will learn about dyeing, history of dyeing, types of dyeing, processes and dyes. The question arises in someone's mind that what is dyeing? The answer is this. Dyeing is the process in which colors like dyes are transferred to a finished fabric like garments or a raw textile material like yarn and fiber to durable, stable and long-lasting color. In fact, these dyes work very effectively and shows long-lasting color effect on the fiber. Another question arises in someone's mind that how dyeing could be done. The answer is this. It is done by a machine. We use jigger machines, HT machines, yarn dyeing machines. Nowadays, we use these types of machines, but before the invention of machines and electricity, it was done by some ancient techniques. In ancient time, dyeing was done in pots filled with water. Textile fiber were placed in pots and mordant was used for dyeing. What is a mordant? Mordant is a substance that is used to fix the dyes on the fibers. Natural dyes were used at that time and also used mordant. Mordant are actually chemical substance that is used to level or fix the dyes permanently on the fiber. Yarn dyeing was also done in the pots at that time. Then this yarn was stitched and the required fabric was produced. Now we discuss history of dyeing. The first evidence of dyeing of fabric was recorded in Asia. It was almost 3000 BC old evidence and recorded by archaeologists. Later on, other evidence were also found in Greek areas like Macedonia. In Antioch, some red dyes traces were found which were possibly from iron oxide which was present in other natural clay which was in orange red in tone. In Asian countries like Pakistan, the pieces of evidence of dyeing fabric were found in Mohenjo-daro and Texla, where in ancient times people dyed their fabric with vegetables and animals. In China, it was done by the bark of plants and other small creatures like insects and with the blood of animals. In ancient time, Turks also used dyeing techniques which was done in pots. Now we discuss the discoveries. In the 17th century, there was malarial disease and there was outspreading of this type of disease. In 17th century, the first dye was discovered by 18-year-old and English chemist William Henry Perkin. Accidentally, when he was doing his research on malarial disease and their outspreading, he did an experiment on coal waste and coal that was extracted from industrial waste. Now we discuss experiment. August Wilhelm von Hofmann was a teacher of Perkin. Actually, Perkin gets a task from his teacher. Hofmann said that quinine, which may be isolated from coal tar, may be possible to help in the treatment of malaria. This was a hypothesis. Perkin got this task and said he could isolate the quinine from coal tar. Hofmann gave him the task and left him alone so that he could be able to do this task easily. Now Perkin started his experiment. He used the content of coal tar according to his teacher. He extracted toluene, which is an organic compound. He did his experiment but failed to get quinine. So first attempt he used to extract toluene, but he was failed to get quinine. In second attempt, he again extracted. He again do his experiment. At this time, he tried again and again, but failed. He did not lose hope. But in another attempt, when he used aniline, which is extracted from coal tar, he extracted it from coal tar. This time he isolated aniline from a raw material coal tar. He again did his experiment with given acid, but the odor was very bad to smell. But for the sake of research, he continued his experiment, and after completing the experiment, he went to get the product. However, the black residue was present at the bottom of test tube. It was very surprising. He drained the liquid and washed out the test tube. While doing this, he was surprised to see the test tube. At this time, he saw a purplish residue which was also present at the bottom of test tube. It was dense, purplish, deep, and bright and in tone. He extracted it from the test tube and treated with alcohol, an organic compound, and then firmly pressed this residue that was purplish in tone with a piece of cotton. After some time, the residue fixed on the cotton permanently and transferred clay to its position. Actually, he wanted to see the conclusion that he obtained from the purplish residue and a cotton. He was the man who discovered the first dye which was purple in tone from coal tar and from aniline. Now we discuss the types of dye. According to the requirements and process, there are many types of dyeing like direct dyeing, bale dyeing, batik dyeing, stock dyeing, yarn dyeing, beam dyeing, chain dyeing, garment dyeing, solution dyeing, cross dyeing, blur dyeing, blends dyeing, back dyeing, top dyeing. Types of dyes: azoic dyes, direct dyes, dispersed dyes, weight dyes, sulfur dyes, reactive dyes, oxidative dyes, modern dyes, solvent dyes, acid dyes, basic dyes, and optical brightener. For our convenience, these dyes are categorized into three major groups, which are dyes for synthetic fibers, dyes for cellulose fiber, dyes for protein fibers. We will discuss these types of dyes and dyeing later. Behavior of dyes. All these dyes have different percentage to fix on yarn, fiber, and fabric. Different research show that these dyes have different behavior and different processes. Some dyes need harsh conditions to perform their work, and some needed different techniques to transfer and fix the yarn, fiber, and fabric. While most of the dyes seriously create issue with pH, which is negative logarithm of hydrogen ions, and commonly they are it is a slang that is used in dyeing industries. It is a power of hydrogen as a slang in textile fields. It is also affected by pressure and temperature. In the next section, we will discuss one by one the type of dye, its processes, conditions, and percentage in detail. We will also discuss the sublimation of dyes and their types in detail. Thanks for your watching.